Oof, don't know where to cut it. There, there, here. No, don't do it. I'm not gonna do it. I was just thinking about it. I'm not really gonna do it. Hi guys, it's Lana here. Welcome back to Lana's Summertime. I know a lot of you guys are here because of quarantine, but I'm genuinely here because the time has come for me to cut my hair. If you guys want to just skip ahead to the cut, you guys are like thrill seekers or something, you just want to see it go like if that's what you want to see, then I'm going to put a little timestamp and you guys can jump straight to it. But for those of you who just want like a bit more information and you guys want actual advice on like how and why and what and where to cut your hair, then just like watch this part as well. The difference between a trim and a cut. So a trim is more of just maintenance. You're literally just maintaining your hair, which you need to do because over time you're going to get wear and tear on your hair, which is going to cause things like dryness, which can lead to split ends. You might even have some damage from hair dyeing, processing, heat styling. So when your hair is kind of damaged at the ends like that, it kind of looks dry, it looks frazzled, your ends start to look a bit thin and raggedy. It's not really the best look in my opinion. I prefer healthy ends. I love healthy ends on hair. It also kind of damages your length retention, which means you might struggle to see hair growth because if your hair starts breaking off at the ends, it's really going to be hard to retain length. So you might be doing everything that you're trying to do to grow your hair and then your hair just kind of breaks off at the ends. It can just be this whole kind of cycle. So it's really important to just maintain your hair by keeping it healthy at the ends. If you are focusing on length retention, then you don't want to be like trimming back further than you've even grown. So for me, I kind of cut like 1 or 2 inches off about every 6 months. I actually feel like I leave it too late in my honest opinion because I do end up in this situation where I do have all of these split ends, which I'd really rather not have had in the first place, and I could have avoided that just by trimming a little bit more frequently. I'm not going to tell you guys to do the trim every 6 weeks, that kind of thing, because a lot of our hair doesn't grow that fast. If we haven't even grown our hair an inch in 6 weeks and we're trimming it an inch in 6 weeks, quick maths, it means our hair is gonna get shorter. So I'm not really gonna tell you guys when to cut your hair. You just need to like figure out how quickly your hair grows, how quickly you're starting to see split ends, and just try to gauge it. Just try to keep your ends healthy and just, you know, kind of figure that part out for yourselves. But I personally do it every 6 months. I think I should do it more like every 4 months. Now over on this side we have a cut, and a cut is like a lot more hair is coming off. You might be restyling, you might be cutting in layers, you might be cutting in a fringe that you didn't have before. All of this kind of thing that comes under a cut. So I'm not doing a cut because I already have layers, so that's why it's falling into the trim category today. I want to let you guys know how you can tell that it's time to have a trim. My friend, he's a hairstylist. He's like a hairstylist to the stars. He does model shoots, London Fashion Week. I think he's been over to New York, Paris, everything, styling hair. He's really, really good. And I had the privilege of him styling my hair one time, only for him to tell me that my ends needed cutting because they were all straggly. He was just like, honey, like these ends. And the way that he could tell is firstly because they get more difficult to comb through and brush through. Like you might find that a brush kind of glides through all of your hair, no problem, gets the ends, and it's just like tugging, and it's just, you can just feel it. You can feel like resistance, and a lot of the time it's because it's tangling, because there are split ends and there's just hairs going here, there, and everywhere because they're just damaged now. They don't know what to do, and then you've got hairs splitting off, which is creating more tangles in there. So if you feel like it is getting more difficult to comb through at the ends, it's probably time for a cut. Not only that, but if you can see split ends, then that is a sign that it needs to go. If you have seen a split end, I guarantee there's like 100 more split ends that you haven't even seen yet. So if you think you've seen 3 split ends, no, there's 300. If you think you've seen 100, guess what? There's 10,000. If you start to see split ends, if you start to notice your hair is breaking, if it starts to feel dry, look dry, if it starts to get difficult to comb through, definitely time for a trim. I'm going to show you what you need in my humble opinion. You guys remember, right? I'm not a professional. I just do this a lot. So these are things in my opinion that you're going to need. You're going to need water because if you have curly hair like me, you're going to want to start on wet hair, and I'll explain that. You don't want to start on wet hair, so you're going to need access to water, the shower head, something. You're going to need a brush, something that's going to get the tangles out and allow you to comb your hair smooth. You're going to need a comb. This is not my comb of choice. I wish I had my pintail comb, but you know, I'm trying this new thing where I don't buy stuff that I don't exactly need. So I have a comb, so I'm going to use this one. You need this so that you can comb your hair out flat and straight. You might need an afro. Whoa. You might need an afro comb. I don't know. I've got it here anyway, just in case I feel like I need it. You might also need some clips and things. And of course, you're gonna need some scissors. I beg you, please don't just go using any scissors. These are hair cutting scissors. They're probably not the best. I got them on Amazon. You guys can get them on Amazon as well. I'll leave these ones linked in the description box down below so that you can find them. These are the ones that I use for all my haircuts. And the reason that you want to use specific scissors is because if you use maybe craft scissors or kitchen scissors or scissors that are kind of like blunt, like old, then they can end up doing more damage than good. If you kind of cut your hair and it's not like a very sharp cut, it can kind of leave the hair cuticle kind of open and damaged. You might end up just creating more split ends using the wrong scissors. So you don't want that at all. You want nice, good, precise, sharp hair cutting scissors. So that's why I'm using these ones. And also because I'm going to blow dry my hair at the end, so I've got some heat protection, some like blow dry heat protection. You're going to want some hair ties and scrunchies as well. If you guys were interested to see any of my other haircuts, I will list them all right here for the ones that I actually filmed. There's been a lot of trial and error, and I'm now at a position where I feel very comfortable giving you guys this little tutorial. So without more being said, I'm going to show you how to trim your hair, unicorn style. Let's go. So this is step 1. You need to make sure your hair is wet. And I'm saying this again in case you didn't catch it before, but I am primarily doing this for curly haired girls because I have curly hair. So this is all that I can practice on. This is all that I know. If you have straight hair, honestly, I don't know if this is going to work well for you. I know that some people with really straight hair can use this unicorn method and get really nice layers, but just bear in mind that this is really for like hair that doesn't need it to be absolutely perfect, because with curly hair, you know, our curls are going to be different either way, and what we're looking for is just like a general overall shape that we like, and we can get that by doing this method. But if you guys want it to be like precise because you can see it precise, then you might want to follow a different method. So yeah, disclaimer, that is what it is. Let me put my phone on silent so that people don't bother me, please. I'm going to start brushing all of my hair forward, and to make sure that there's not going to be like any hidden bubbles or any hair that's kind of like flipped over itself before coming forward, I'm going to do it in sections. So I'm gonna just take hair like this. And that's like another reason why it obviously helps to do this on clean, freshly washed hair. If you guys are doing this in quarantine, let me know in the comment section down below. It's actually a good thing to do to your hair. So quarantine or not, you're actually doing a good thing right now. So what I'm doing right now is I'm trying to get my hair to go straight like this, instead of, if you imagine these pieces of hair right at the back, I don't want them to kind of come around to the front of my face like this, because it means they're going to be really long when they get to the back, and I'm going to have a really defined V like this. I want them to come straight up like this so that the V isn't as pronounced, it's more round, but we still get layers. So I'm really just trying to make sure everything is coming straight to the front rather than like taking a detour and going round. Obviously, the longer of a journey that the hair is taking to get to the front, the longer that piece of hair is going to be when it gets into the final result. So that's really not what I'm trying to do. If you can't run a comb all the way through the hair without coming into any snags or anything like that, then you're not done. You need to make sure this is completely smooth and you can run all the way through it. Look at that, my head looks like a bowling ball right now. And let me just show you that from the back, because I want you guys to see how this looks from the back, and make sure that you don't have any partings in there and your hair isn't going to any other kind of direction, like it's not taking a different route. Take this little hair tie and tie your hair up. It's central, like you need to make sure this is tied in the middle, you guys, it's really important. So tie it right here. And then I'm gonna chop it all off. I'm kidding. I think I need to chop like this much off, because that's where I've been noticing that there's damage, like in at least this much hair. I'm like kind of holding it flat and then it's wide. Put it out forward, because this is called the unicorn method for a reason, because you want your hair to look like a big old horn like this. If hair starts to fall out, then don't worry about it. This is my fringe. It means it's not supposed to be involved in the layers. And then a lot of hairdressers like to cut at kind of like 90-degree angles. So I guess you could call this 90 degrees right now. You see how the comb can hold the hair? I don't know how many haircuts you guys have done before, so that's why I'm showing you literally every single step. Oof, don't know where to cut it. There, here, no, don't do it. I'm not gonna do it. I was just thinking about it, I'm not really gonna do it. So I'm gonna cut everything now that's not in the comb. It's quite a lot of hair actually. It's like 2 or 3 inches of hair at the end there. I try not to cut my fingers because I can't actually see, because I'm trying to do it so that you guys can see it. So, ooh, done. I actually can't see. I cannot see a thing. Like, my whole hand is in the way. Like, you see, look, that's what I can see. You guys can see way more than me at the moment. Okay, right, now I'm gonna bring it back around so that I can see it. This is how much I care about you guys. I want you guys to see even though I can't see. But like at home, make sure you can see while you're doing this. So I just want to tidy that up because I can see like right away that it's not really how I want to cut it. So you have it like this, right? You don't need to keep it tight the whole time as long as it's kind of secured with the comb. And then you can cut it again. I also feel like I need some more disclaimers right here. So this is really only going to work for you if your hair is already past a certain length. You need to have at least shoulder length hair for this to work in the first place, because if you can't tie your hair forward like this, then that's not going to work. You also need to think about when your hair is tied up. Like if your hair comes and you just have like this little ponytail right here, don't do it, because if you chop your hair right here, this part of hair is only going to be this long. And you're going to have way longer hair going back. It's basically going to look like a mullet. So you need to think about the hair that's at the front right here is literally like however long you cut it is how long the front of your hair is going to be. This really hasn't moved all that much, right? So it just has like a little bit of leeway, but not that much. So if I cut my hair here, then that's how long the front of my hair is going to be. Like if I cut it here, it's going to be this long. But if I cut it here, it's going to be this long. So if you don't want that, then please bear that in mind. I feel like you shouldn't really be doing this unless your hair at least reaches maybe your chin or nose in a ponytail. So like if your hair is like this, then this could work for you. Like you could chop it here and this could work for you. You could have nice layers. But if your hair is up here, please don't do this. I beg you, please don't do this unless that's what you want. It could work for you, but I don't recommend it. And you see what I mean? Like if I were to brush it like this and go straight down, which I think I have done in the past, it means that this top layer right here, like especially this very bit right at the back, this is elongated even more because it has to come down even more, which is longer than anyone else has had to travel, which really emphasizes that V haircut at the back. So that piece that's at the bottom of the V it's this piece, the piece that's come all the way. So if you can kind of minimize that a little bit, then it just softens the V. So flattening the curve, you know, this is so relevant to right now. So you're flattening the curve. So instead of having a V haircut like this, we're just going to bring it up so it's just a little bit more subtle, which is kind of what I want. So that's why I'm not cutting it like this. I could go in and cut like this, but then as you can see, like it just means that that part's going to be a bit longer. So that's why I just want to go like this, because it means that now that this point isn't such an outlier, it's not so far further forward than anyone else, but it's still quite a bit. Actually now just going to hold it like this, and I'm going to start chopping pieces so that they are cut more diagonally than straight. People just say that that's better for curly hair. How does my hair feel now? It definitely feels a lot healthier at the ends already, which is what this is all about. Now we've done 3 inches. So now is the reveal. We can take this down and we can find out what the haircut looks like on wet hair. Let's see. Dun, da, da, da. The layers are there. Alright, so now remember, you just cut your hair. Well, I did. I just cut my hair for maintenance, for a trim, to keep my ends healthy because I had split ends and I had some breakage and dryness. So I guess the key thing from here on out is just make sure that I'm taking the utmost care of my hair that I possibly can so that I can avoid getting those split ends and breakage on my freshly chopped hair. This is like a new start, a new beginning for me and my hair. You're gonna find that like if you kind of did this and then just flipped it over and started ripping through it with a brush, that's like the worst thing you can do. You gotta be gentle and do a nice little deep conditioning treatment. Maybe you did it along with me and you thought like you were doing something crazy, you thought you were taking a risk, when in reality this is really more about like self-care and self-maintenance, especially like just a trim like this. And that's really important, like when everything's closed because we're in quarantine, like self-maintenance and keeping up with that kind of routine is important. I never go to the salon anyway, I've always done home haircuts, but if you're new to this then just know that like this isn't something like drastic or crazy. This is really about just taking care of yourself and taking care of your hair and maintaining your appearance and health and mental health. I'm kind of growing out my fringe right now, so I'm not going to include the fringe cut in this video. I'm so tempted though. I'm going to split my hair right down the middle, and I think I'm actually just going to take some length off the ends because I'm not too happy with the appearance of the ends of my hair right now. You see just this wispy bit? I'm going to take that and I'm just going to chop. I think even once I've done that, it's still in layers. It's okay. And then I'm going to show you guys one more tip, which is to kind of wrap your hair up like this. This is going to allow you to see like any super obvious split ends. Obviously when it's a big chunk of your hair like this, it's kind of hard to see, so I can't see anything that's split actually. So that's good. The smaller the sections, more split ends you will likely find, unless you're just super lucky and you don't have any split ends, which can of course can happen because you did just do a haircut. Your ends should be healthy. If you're finding a lot of split ends, if you do this and there's just tons and everything's a split end, then it means you need to cut more hair if you want to. It just means your ends are not healthy still. At this point it should be really difficult to find a split end. I don't see one. Now this is what I like to call the search and destroy method. Search and destroy those split ends. I can't find any, so I guess we did a good job of cutting the hair today. Alright, so my hair is pretty much fully dry now, so you can actually see the shape of the haircut. Like I said, this was not like a new haircut, this was just like a maintenance trim, so it's not really any different to the usual shape that I had. Obviously my fringe is still growing out, so I don't have that anymore. Like my fringe, like I think this is my fringe. Oh, do you remember that time I cut my fringe to like here? And this is her now. Look how she's grown. Oh, that's crazy. If you guys are familiar with like diva cuts, basically the principle is that you should cut curly hair dry, because on a curly head there's all these different curl patterns and they all spring up tightly or loosely and they're all just really different, which means you can't really see it when the hair is wet. You have to wait for the hair to dry in order to see how the hair actually sits on the head. So I agree with that principle in part. But for my hair, I have a pretty consistent curl pattern all over my head, so that's why I like to do it wet, and I feel like it gives you a good basis. If you're somebody who you know you've got really different curl patterns, then you might just want to wait till this step. And I'm just going to take parts of that principle and just stick it onto the end. So once my hair is dry, I just look at it and think, is there any part of my hair that's like just sticking out because it's more loose or something? So on the top of my head, my curl pattern does tend to get a bit looser than the rest of my hair, which means that some of these might just appear a bit longer than how I want them to. Actually today I don't really feel like they are doing that. I feel like I'm quite happy with the shape that it's given me here, and that's kind of my main issue that I have with the whole principle of only cutting curly hair dry, is because, as you know, every wash routine turns out different. It's never the same twice, which means you might cut it dry today and then tomorrow you might wash your hair, let it dry again, and it turns out you've got bits here, bits there, bits there. Like, you're not going to cut your hair again just because of that. I'd rather just have a good foundation. We know that my hair is this length. I can straighten it and I know that it's going to look okay straight. And yeah, it's going to be different every day. There's nothing you can do about that. So that's kind of where I'm at when it comes to diva cuts. But saying that, I am going to do like just a few little bits here and there like this, and I'm just going to do a little bit more search and destroy before I hide my scissors forever, because I don't like to do search and destroy. I feel like it's not like time effective. I feel like if you're really getting that many split ends, then it's best just to do another haircut and actually get rid of more hair this time, because the hair is obviously not that healthy still if there's still a lot of split ends. Ends are springy, looking hydrated, looking soft. That's everything from me. I really hope that you guys enjoyed the video. Please give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed it or if you learned something, or a thumbs down if you hated it. I mean, you might have done. All feedback is good feedback. Leave me some feedback in the comment section down below. Subscribe to my channel, turn on your notifications so you don't miss anything from me in future. Also get me on Instagram for all of the blessings and the breakdowns, because I put it all on there, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.